Hello everyone and welcome. Today, we're going to look at a super important punctuation mark that's going to help you write clear, beautiful, and most importantly, exam-ready sentences. This explainer is designed step by step just for you, to make sure you never lose marks on confusing sentences again. We're talking about commas in lists. Let's take it nice and slow and look exactly at how they work.
Okay, let's dive into this. Let's read this quote together, right? A comma is like a tiny divider between list items. That's the simple secret right there. A comma's whole job is just to step between your words, separate them, and give your reader a tiny pause so your sentences make perfect sense.
Section 1. The messy list problem. Take a look at this really messy list. I need a pen, pencil, and eraser. Do you hear how the words just kind of crash into each other? Without pauses, a pen, pencil sounds like one giant, weird, confusing object. It makes it really hard for your examiner, or honestly any reader, to understand exactly what you mean.
So we can actually fix this by thinking visually. Imagine drawing a box around every single item you want to talk about. We've got one box for our pen, a second box for our pencil, and a third box for our eraser. By chunking these items into separate visual boxes, we totally isolate each distinct thing. And this brilliantly illustrates how we solve the problem. Look closely at this corrected sentence. We place a tiny comma right between our visual boxes. I need a pen, pause, pencil, pause, and eraser. Placing that tiny comma between our items fixes the messy list perfectly. The confusion is completely gone.
Section 2. The 3-item rule. All right, here is the core rule. Read it slowly with me. Use commas to separate 3 or more items in a list. I'm going to repeat that. If your sentence contains 3 things, 4 things, or even 10 things, you absolutely must use commas to separate them. Let's look at the correct patterns together. Notice the clean, readable rhythm here. Item 1, comma, item 2, comma, and item 3. Let's read the examples. I packed my pencil, ruler, and notebook. Or how about this one? The story has suspense, mystery, and surprise. You see how the commas sit perfectly between the items to make the sentence crystal clear?
But wait, there's one really important exception. What if you only have 2 items? Look closely at this sentence. I bought apples and bananas. If you only have 2 things, the word "and" is actually enough to divide them. No comma is needed here. So remember, 2 items mean no comma.
Section 3. Fixing common mistakes. Let's see how this builds into real exam practice. I want you to look closely at 3 common errors that actually cost students marks on their papers. Look at the left side with the red X box. I packed my pencil, ruler, and notebook. This is incorrect. Why? Because we have 3 separate items, a pencil, a ruler, and a notebook. Now look over at the right side with the green checkbox. I packed my pencil, ruler, and notebook. Because there are 3 items, the commas literally have to be there to separate them.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is we're looking at the exact opposite mistake. Look at the red X box. I packed my pencil and ruler. Remember our exception rule? We only have 2 items here. So putting a comma is actually a mistake. The green checkbox shows the correct way. I packed my pencil and ruler. Simple, clear, and correct.
And here's our third common mistake. Look at the red X box. We studied grammar, reading, and writing. The student tried to use commas here, but they completely missed one. Grammar and reading are still crashing into each other. You have to put commas between all the items in a 3-part list. The green checkbox shows the perfect answer. We studied grammar, reading, and writing.
Section 4. The comma challenge. All right, time for a mini quiz to lock in your knowledge. Question 1. Add the commas to this sentence. I need a pen, pencil, and eraser. Think of your visual boxes. Where do the commas go? I'll give you a couple of seconds to think.
And here is the answer. I need a pen, pencil, and eraser. Excellent job if you placed those 2 commas correctly between your 3 items. You are separating them perfectly. Moving on to question 2, read this one carefully. Is a comma needed here? I like tea and coffee. Think about our rules, and especially think about the exception. Does this sentence need a comma? Take a second.
The answer is no comma needed. Look closely. We only have 2 items in our visual boxes, tea and coffee. Because there are only 2, the word "and" is doing all the heavy lifting for us.
Great focus on that one.
Okay, let's look at our final challenge question. Fix this entire sentence. She likes reading, writing, and speaking. There are 3 activities here. How do we make this readable? Where do the commas go? Take a moment to figure it out.
Here is your fully corrected sentence. She likes reading, writing, and speaking. Brilliant work. You separated the 3 distinct items perfectly. I'm really proud of your effort today. Section 5. Review and remember. So, the crucial point is captured right here on your punctuation review card. Read this slowly with me and really lock it into your memory. Rule 1. 3 or more items, separate them with commas. Rule 2. Only 2 items, no comma needed. And Rule 3. Always try to think of your items in visual boxes to help you see exactly where the commas belong. Please save this punctuation rule so you can review it before your exams, and be sure to subscribe for more Cambridge English in 5 minutes. I want to leave you with one final super memorable question. Every single time you finish a Cambridge essay, I want you to look back at your lists and ask yourself, did I pack my commas? Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.